Hello, everyone. My name is Ishaan Bondre, and I'm a junior at Eastlake High School. And today I'll be presenting my research on predicting stock prices using linear and nonlinear machine learning models. So, my thesis is that nonlinear models, specifically random forests and neural networks, are going to be more effective than linear models in capturing stock price patterns. However, it is important to note that predictive power requires a lot more inputs, specific inputs like external political and economic events. So the stock market is highly dynamic, influenced by company performance, sentiment, and global events. And predicting stock prices is difficult but very valuable for investors. My research focuses on whether a minimal input set, just three opening prices of 3 consecutive days, is enough to predict a fourth opening price on the fourth day. And we want to do this with reasonable accuracy. So models tested. I tested four models in this, and I tested the linear regression model, which assumes a straight line relationship between inputs and outputs. Decision trees, which split data into rule-based paths. And then we have random forest, which is just a lot of decision trees, and that gives it a better generalization. And then neural networks, which capture nonlinear relationships by passing inputs through many interconnected layers. So my data set consisted of 5 years of daily opening prices from Apple, Microsoft, and Tesla. And using the sliding window of 3 days, I created input features of 3 days, three past days to predict the next day's price. And the models were trained using 60, or the models were trained using a data set, and we used 67% of that data set to train it, and then 33% to test it. And then the metric we used to determine how accurate the models were mean squared error. And so here are some of the results that we got. So the results show that the random forest consistently had the lowest error, followed closely by the neural network. And the decision trees performed moderately, while linear regression performed the worst. And this supports our hypothesis because the nonlinear models, the random forest and neural network, had a much better MSE or mean square than linear models. So our simulation. So combining model predictions through an ensemble, it slightly improved the accuracy. And then to explore a real world application, I ran a trading simulation using the linear regression predictions. And under ideal conditions, $500 invested in Microsoft could grow up to nearly $9,000. This simulation does show potential and it assumes perfect execution, but it does not include lots of other risks and transaction costs, which may fault the simulation. And one thing, the prediction that we used is was not just the linear regression model. We actually combined all four of the model's predictions, and then we weighted it based on accuracy, which is like inversing the MSE, which gave us the best prediction, and we use that for our training simulation. So discussion. These results demonstrate that just the simple features contain useful signals and nonlinear models do outperform linear ones, but there were significant limitations. And these limitations include like real world stock movements depend mainly on world, like the actual economic events and global events. And we can't really include that in simulations and predicting those prices because the machine learning algorithm doesn't just have the prices. It doesn't have anything else that could influence the price. And then our trading simulation also did not include transaction costs, liquidity, or risk adjustments. And as I said before, we don't have political shocks included or global events which may completely drastically change a price of a stock. And so here, as I was talking about a little bit before political and economic context, it's very important that external it's important to know that external political and economic events can disrupt any model. For instance, unexpected interest rate spikes or election results can dramatically shift any stock price overnight. And machine learning models may be able to predict or detect historical patterns, but without integrating real-time political and economic awareness, predictions do remain very weak and fragile, so it's hard to depend on each prediction that the model is making. So future work. Future research should incorporate richer input features like trading volume, news, sentiment, and volatility indicators. And advanced models like LSTMs, which capture sequential dependencies, may further improve predictions. But the most importantly, strategies must be risk adjusted and benchmarked against simple baselines. So, in conclusion, this research confirms that nonlinear models like random forests and neural networks outperform linear approaches to stock prediction using linear regression models and decision trees. However, minimal features limit accuracy, and external political and economic shocks remain beyond the reach of purely data-driven models. Future prediction systems will likely need to integrate financial data with real-time global awareness to make sure that predictions are more accurate and are more reliable. Here are some of the references that provide the foundation of comparing methods and situating research for in the broader field of stock price prediction using machine learning. Thank you. Have a good day.